see you do it again. I see you move. You move the mountain, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe. I see you do it again. I see you do it again. See you do it again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me. Yeah. No, never fail me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You never fail me. Yeah, yeah. I will not forget. Oh, you never.
You're going to fill those up with cash. We ask that you bring those back. Listen, you cannot sleep with those and suck on those all night long. The baby bottle was not for you. It was for you to fill up with cash and bring back. So please, if you have those out, just bring those back. Turn those in at the Connect Center. We would greatly appreciate that. Hey, listen, we're beginning a series today that I'm calling Squad. Somebody say Squad. The people in your life determine the projection of your life. And we want to make sure that we're choosing wisely who we surround our lives with. That we need people in our lives, and we've got to make sure that we're picking the right people to draw close to our lives. It's going to be a relationship series, and we will be talking about various kinds of relationships. We'll even get into a marriage talk about marriage relationships and what it looks like to live in singlehood. But today I just want to talk about relationships in general and the people that we surround our lives with. And I want to build two identities for us in this place that we have to choose who we're going to let go where. And I'm going to call it walkways and fences. For some people, you got to build walkways, and for others, you got to build fences. And I want to talk about how do we know the difference in who should be on the walkway and who should be on the other side of the fence. I just want to make sure that we're choosing rightly in our life. Here's why, and I'm going to set it up this way. I love fruit. Anybody else love fruit in this place? Like I love it because it's a guiltless pleasure, right? It's like I eat it and I think I'm doing good, like I'm being healthy. But it's the fourth banana in a row that you eat that you realize I might as well have had a milkshake after all this sugar, right? Like it's like, but I love it in my oatmeal. I love fruit. We're always stocking the house with fruit. Our kids love fruit. We're a fruit family. But I kind of have a love-hate relationship with fruit because fruit is something that you can't, like other things in your house that are so attacked with preservatives, fresh fruit, you just can't leave it hanging out for too long, right? Or it starts to go bad on you. And how many of you ever had an experience where you picked up a banana and it's like, I think it's okay. It's like, it's kind of black all over the place, but I think I can still do this. And you just kind of pick it up and it kind of is really mushy in your hand and you open it up and you're like, no, I can't pull this one off, right? This isn't going to work. Or you ever grab and if you let those bananas sit too long, like those flies from outer space, like where did they come from? Where were they living? Like I've never seen these things before, and bam, they're all over the place. And then you throw the bananas out and they're gone. It's absolutely amazing. Right? Or maybe strawberries. You ever picked up a squishy strawberry? You're like, can I? No, I better not do that. I have no idea. My favorite are blueberries. Got any blueberry fans in the house? A few. All right, good. I was wondering. Blueberries. Blueberries are my favorite. I love them in my oatmeal. I love a handful of them. I love blueberries. Our family goes through blueberries like crazy. I'm the one who does grocery shopping for the house because it's a mindless routine that I can go and I don't have to think about anything. I've got the store memorized. I know exactly where everything is. So I just walk, sip coffee, and grab off the shelf. And nobody's talking to me. Nobody's asking me anything hard. I'm just like, boom. They really messed with my feng shui when they made those one-way aisles. I was about to kill somebody. Like, no, you don't mess with my business. This is my grocery store, my time to shop. Go down this aisle any way I want to. So I'm often getting them, and I'm looking, I grab them, I kind of look them over, the fruit, and I'm squeezing it, smelling it, make sure I am not a coronavirus-friendly shopper. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have touched everything you've ever bought. I've smelled it, breathed on it, polished it. You're welcome. You better wash your stuff when you get home, because I'm all over the place. Right, and so I bring this stuff home, and I remember thinking so proud, like I got all these fresh groceries, fresh fruit, and Charlotte says, "Hey Joe, come here." And the blueberries, she just kind of pulls 2 or 3 of them back, and there's just a nice white glob sitting over. Have you ever seen the mold that grows on a blueberry? It was astonishing to see it. Here's what I've realized about blueberries. I know you're wondering what world we're talking about today at church. Here's what I realized about blueberries. Of all the fruits, are some of the best at hiding their issues. Blueberries are really good at hiding their issues. It never seems to grow on top. It's when you peel the first few layers back that you realize there's a cocoon in there. And a baby dragon is forming in the middle of your blueberries. Like, what is happening with all of this? Right? They're really good. And then I realized that one bad blueberry is not isolated in the bunch. It just begins to quickly affect the others. You pull the one off that's white and the other one's got some white, and then you realize this blueberry's made a difference in a negative way among what is going on here. And I realize people are more like blueberries than we realize. You and I are more like blueberries than we realize. We're moldy with dysfunction. We're jaded with jealousy. We're toxic with resentment. And we're squishy with selfishness. There is that too, if you're wondering. And people are just more like blueberries. You realize. Here's the statement I want to make, and I think this is important for the entire series that we're going to do, and that is this. The people around you prophesy the future ahead of you. The people around you, especially in closest proximity to you, the people around you, they are prophetic. They prophesy of your future. Maybe you've heard it said this way: show me your friends and I'll show you your future. 2 people have heard it said that way. Thank you for playing along. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Can I just tell you this? It is absolutely impossible to live the right life when you're surrounded by the wrong people. It's just impossible because there's such a pull, there's such a current, there's such a spreading that happens in your inner circle that you will ultimately become and surrender to the environment you surround your life with. And so it's super important to check your blueberries. It's super important to say, you know what, you're getting a little mossy on me, right? Maybe sometimes you're the one getting mossy on others, right? And that's when it's really hard. And we've got to realize that, look, we've got to take inventory of the batch. And we've got to ask ourselves, what am I letting surround my life? Who am I letting surround my life? Because it's impossible to live the right life with the wrong people surrounding me. Can I just tell you this way? This is a statement I've made here over and over and over again that you got to realize about people, and that is this. Just because they're good to you doesn't mean they're good for you. Just because they're good to you doesn't mean that they are good for you. For instance, and this is not meant to be offensive, so I hope it's not, but 53,000 people die every year from secondhand smoke. 53,000 people die every year from secondhand smoke. They die because somebody else close to them smoked around them. Right? Listen, most people underestimate the effect both negative and positive relationships can have on your life. And if you don't realize the air you're breathing what's filling your life around you. If you're beside someone who is breathing out toxicity, if you stay close too long, that's coming into your life. And it's going to affect your life. So we have to take friendatory every now and then. Come on, you got to take a friend inventory, and you might need to have a friendectomy every now and then. Play along, church. But we've got to understand what is collecting around me. Community is important. You and I are designed for relationships and designed for community, and community is important, and we need to draw close to people. Isolation is not God's design for our life, so you don't get moldy. Well, I'm just going to stay away from people so I don't get moldy, so I don't get toxic. That in and of itself will create all kinds of vices and all kinds of invaders in your soul that will make you just as toxic as if you were standing around people full of toxicity. God wants community for our lives, wants us to draw close, but we have to learn to be wise about who we're connecting ourselves to, because it doesn't just affect the immediate, it affects the long term, and it will destroy and break down the things that Christ wants to do in and through our lives. Romans chapter 12, verse 5, if you're new here and wondered if we ever use the Bible, here we go. Romans chapter 12, verse 5, after the blueberry story. Since we are all one body in Christ, we belong to each other. Here's what you got to get. And each one of us needs all the others. You and I need community in our lives. And we need it primarily for 4 reasons. If you're taking notes, you can write this down. If you don't normally take notes, this is teaching Sunday. Sometimes I preach, and sometimes I teach. And here's the difference. They say when you teach, you tell. When you preach, you yell. So you'll know if I'm preaching when I'm yelling. This is actually not yelling, if you're wondering. If this is already much more than your previous pastor ever did, then I'm glad you're here. And there's primarily 4 reasons why we need community. All of us, every single one of us, need it for these 4 reasons. Number 1 is what I call the arena. We all need it because of the arena. And the arena is I know and you know. It's the part of me that I know and that I know that you know. But here's the thing about the arena. The part that you know is the part I let you know. It's the big open amphitheater of my life, and I only let the characters come on stage that I want you to know about. I only let the stories form that I want you to understand about my life. And so I can live so much hidden in the arena of life. There's backstages, there's offside places, there's closets that you'll never get into. I just want you to know the big amphitheater of my life. It's the big personality I present to you. This is who I am, and you should know it. I know it, and I want you to know it. The problem with that is that somewhere in your life you need people who really know you off the stage. Like behind the scenes, when the curtain closes, when the final call has rolled itself out. I need people who really, really know me. Matthew chapter 23, verse 5 says, everything they do is done to please people. It's talking about these Pharisees and these religious people who want to just show a good show. Look how amazing I am. Look how holy I am. Look how awesome I am. And Matthew's saying everything that they did so people would see it. They make their phylacteries wide and their tassels long. Phylacteries are prayers rolled up in boxes that they would strap to their head or strap to their forearm. It says they make them really big. So everybody's like, those people have big phylacteries. Man, they are amazing. They are holy. They are awesome. Look how awesome they are. They wear it openly. Big phylactery. I was expecting you to laugh so it wouldn't leave me up here looking so dumb, using the term phylactery over and over and over again. Everything they do is so people can see it. And they make it big and they make it loud. But here's what he goes on to say in verse 27. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you're hypocrites. Watch this. This is so strong. You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside it's full of bones of the dead, and everything is unclean. Like you put on a good show, people think everything is amazing, but if they just pull back a few blueberries, there's a cocoon. of craziness. I didn't wake up feeling this spry and spunky. It just happened to me. It says they're whitewashed on the outside. Literally, they would come and paint the tombs white to make them look brilliant, and the sun would shine down on them. It would be like a glowing of this radiant glory of this person who's here, but in the inside it's just dead bones. There's no life. And you know, that's a lot. I know I've been there at times in my own life, and I know that you've been there as well. I know that you understand what it looks like to give the amphitheater, the arena of your life out, the me I want you to see, and everybody cheer on that and go home and realize inside there's some dirty stuff in there. There's some broken stuff in there. There's dead stuff in there, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to get it out. It's because we all have an arena in our life. The second thing is that the reason we need community, the reason we need each other, and the reason we move from rows to circles like we do in our groups is because there's masks. This makes more sense today than it ever has anytime I've ever preached it. There are masks, right? How many of you have come across people that you've known for a long time, but you don't recognize them because of the mask? Like, I was with somebody the other day, and they're like, you know so-and-so, and I'm like, And then I realized the longer I was there, I've known this guy for years. I'm like, dude, I can't believe how much that mask has covered up. Like I never looked into your eyes so deeply. It's a dude, and that's why. But anyway. Right, the mask. And listen, this is, I know, but you don't know. It's the me I keep beneath. This is that area beyond the arena. It's when the curtain closes, that part of me. I know it, but you don't know it. And listen, I need people who will protect me and won't judge me when I pull down the mask. I need people in my life who are willing to walk with me into the dirty parts, are willing to come and pull some blueberries back and see what is growing and say, it's okay. I've been there too. I've had the same thing happen in my life. You should have saw how dirty I was just 2 years ago. You should have saw the mess and the creature that was crawling out of the cocoon. I had no idea that was in there. Scared me to death when I saw it. Right? But someone helped come and helped wash away all that was broken. Introduced me to the mercy and grace of God, and they put it on display and let me see it. And then now I've gotten really a lot better at pulling it back myself and washing it more and more over and over again so that stuff doesn't fester and grow in my life. I have a place where I can take my mask off. And people can know me as another. Here's what I'm trying to say. And we've got to understand this. We will always stay as sick as our greatest secret. You are going to stay as sick as your greatest secret. You can be healthy in so many other areas, but have this little side of you that nobody else knows about, and that's as healthy as you're going to be. You will stay as sick as your biggest secret. And if you want to be healed, if you want to get beyond it, if you want to live a flourishing life, you've got to get close enough to people, good, godly people who understand mercy over judgment, who understand the grace of God, and who understand their own falling and how good Jesus has been in their life, and they're willing to get beyond the mask with you and say, come on, let's work this healing out because somebody helped me work my healing out, and I wouldn't be here, somebody to step into my life to help pull this stuff back and help me get clean in my life. We've got to get beyond the mask because we don't want to stay sick. We want to be healed. Here's what 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2 says in the Message Bible. I love it. We refuse to wear masks and play games. We don't maneuver and manipulate behind the scenes. Rather, we keep everything we do and say out in the open. Man, doesn't that sound so freeing? That you can literally get around a bunch of people where you don't have to hide yourself. You can get it out in the open and talk about it. And listen, the devil works in the dark areas of your life. And if he can keep you from shining light on it, if he can keep you from letting other people in and exposing what is going on, he will keep you trapped. It's when you open up and you let the light of God shine in and you let godly people around you into that area of your life that you actually find healing for your life. I love what C.S. Lewis says. It's such a captivating quote to me. He says this, friendship is born at the very moment when one person says to another, what? You too? I thought I was the only one. I love that. That's when a deep friendship starts to form. Surface friendships are those that never end up saying, hey, let's talk about some real stuff that you and I both struggle with. Deep, covenantal friendship and relationship starts when you say, what? I had no idea. I suffer with the same thing too. I'm broken also. And then you enter into covenant of healing by nurturing each other to life in the face of brokenness. That's the godly way, and that's why we need to move from rows to circles, and that's why we need community in our lives. The third area is because